Good morning, everybody. I see lots of people have their cameras off. You're welcome to unmute yourself and say hello. I have China with us.
Oh, hey, hi everybody. Hello.
China's currently in a taxi. You want to tell us what you're doing, China?
Yeah, I like literally just arrived in Morocco. Yeah, I'm in Marrakesh right now. So, I this wasn't the plan that I arrive like at
Oh.
the time that we have our Zoom call, but that's just what happened. So, I'm in a taxi on the way to our house, which is going to be turned into probably Ashiatsu Marrakesh training center in
Awesome.
retreat something. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but
That's going to be fun,
yeah,
though.
so fun. Yeah, anybody can come.
Are you guys planning on moving there?
Maybe when we're old,
Yeah.
but not not until at least the kids get out of school. Are
Yeah,
we here?
perfect. Well, welcome everybody. I know that we have a few more people jumping on. So good morning.
Good morning. It's or afternoon. It's like 6 p.m. here,
Oh, is that what
I
time it
think.
is where you're at?
Hold on, I can't see. Yeah, it's 6 p.m. here.
And it's still Wednesday, right?
It is Wednesday. Is today Wednesday? It's Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. So we're on the same day, just a different meal. So I'm gonna go this way. Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, this is a nice place to sit. I'm just gonna sit outside and chat with you guys
Yeah,
about
that's
Deep Feet 3.
perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Take your time getting your stuff
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Um,
So if anybody wants
show
to,
us what it looks like.
uh, I don't really know where I am right now. Is it here or there? 11. Yeah. So, it's just everything is kind of this color. And
Yeah,
look at the tile on the floor. Like, we don't just have
I love it.
concrete here. This is like pretty intricate flooring. It's really cool. So, yeah. All right. Okay. I found a nice place to sit. Can I just stay here? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
The co-partner with us just got
Oh,
to
yay. Our
Taco.
our our body is here.
He's showing us around.
Our body's here.
Our body is here.
Body's here.
I love it, right?
Yay.
I always
Thank
love
you.
asking people, like, can I just use your body for a
Yeah,
class? And they're like, what?
absolutely.
And I'm like, yes, I just be quiet.
It's a good offer.
Just
Use
get on the table and we'll
Uh-huh.
get started in a minute. So my
Exactly.
body did show up and I'm very happy about that. So we can do
I
some demo of Deep Feet 3. But I did want to just kind of share why I think Deep Feet 3 is so amazing. And then China can jump in why my
mhm,
client gets on the table and I'll turn my video off. Um,
perfect.
but so Deep Feet 3 for me, I really changed the way that I practice Ashi just in more of
Absolutely.
a clinical experience. I do a lot of myofascial work just on my basic table for massage. And so Deep Feet 3 really brought back into the point of being able to palpate with my foot to feel any restrictions in the muscle tissue and then to encourage movement from my client and while I'm holding that space. I find that with some of the techniques doing using the feet rather than my hands, I just have a better angle and I can create a more profound effect for my client. So my client that's here today definitely struggles with range of motion in his neck. And so I wanted to definitely show our seated um, neck stuff. And do you mind just standing up and showing us your range of motion for your neck?
All right, right here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. This is my client, Greg. He's
Hi,
amazing.
Greg.
Him. So just go ahead and just rotate your head. And so see how, like, when he's rotating his head, he's even engaging that shoulder to come.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
thing is moving. Yeah.
And so,
That side is not.
And
yeah.
the other side too. Interesting.
And so
Yeah.
then what happened? You had a few, was it chiropractors that injured your neck or was it auto accidents?
Chiropractor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I like this is go do the range of motion again, just left and right for us. So this is also really common for people with auto accidents. And then go ahead and extend backwards too. So just show us what it looks like coming back and then just chin to chest too. So you can see that we have, a restriction with going side to side and then the shoulders popping up. And then even with the extension and the flexion, we're still engaging some upper thoracic and even chest muscles. Um, and then I love to work the body three-dimensionally because we are three-dimensional people. We're not all walking around like flat Stanleys. So, it's really important to be able to access, the body in that realm and then using range of motion to encourage the restrictions to release themselves. So that's what I really love about Deep Feet 3. It has completely changed the way I think with my feet. And then that on top of my advanced myofascial training with advanced trainings has really just changed my entire perspective. So I'm going to let China jump in. I'm going to turn my camera off and let Greg get on the table. And then I'll jump back on and we'll do some things for the neck. Go ahead, China.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So I've been practicing deep feet since 2003. So I learned the barefoot basics a really long time ago, and I learned anterior a really long time ago, but I've only been practicing deep feet 3, which is advanced anterior, and it truly is advanced anterior. I've only been practicing that portion of it for a few years because for some reason I was in the frame of mind, just like what I'm finding a lot of deep feet therapists, is that deep feet 3 is just anterior, and it's not. It is active, it's engaging, it's very clinical. And I don't have bars here. The original plan was that I was going to do the demo, but Lynn is going to come back on and do that. But Deep Feet 3 also changed my practice. Sorry guys, if you didn't catch me in the beginning, I'm just outside in Morocco. There's outside noises. So I don't know if any of you have any questions, like you can go ahead and chime in, but it changed the way that I treat my clients when they come into my office with issues with decreased range of motion. Just like Greg, I'm actually excited to see Lynn, demonstrate some work on him. I've seen a huge increase in range of motion in one session when I started introducing this concept. And it is advanced anterior and side lying, which it's more of a concept and less of a routine. So there's a bunch of concepts in different parts of the body for anterior and side lying that I also apply to the back of the body. On occasion, I'll do the 3 connects on the hamstring, or if someone has a plantar fasciitis, I'll get into the gastroc and have them doing the 3 connects on the back of the body. definitely in the shoulders. I get a lot of increase of neck range of motion. And we do, there's a girl in Myrtle Beach who does like, we call it a rotisserie because she does a 2 hour session, anterior, posterior, left side, right side, but she does, I think she starts posterior and then she goes to either the left or the right, then she goes anterior, then she goes to the other side that she didn't work on before. But for me, side lying is more, I just put them in side lying when they need it. Um, but I've been thinking about entering, including the rotisserie style because I think it sounds like a good idea. Working on the client completely. Does anyone have any questions? Are we, I don't know. So everyone is muted. If anybody wants to, Julianne, are you trying to talk? Because
No,
you,
I'm driving. I don't know if you can hear me or
oh,
not.
okay, all right. Yeah, no, your screen is green. So I wasn't sure if you
Oh,
were
okay.
trying to talk.
I'm going
Um,
to mute myself for 10 minutes or so until I get to my destination.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, unmute yourself and do you have a experience? Have you taken Deep Feet 3? Um, are you interested in taking Deep Feet 3? Like what brings you in today? Is that Christy?
Yeah, am I muted?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, yay. Okay, cool. I'm up in Michigan
Okay.
and I'm on the west
Welcome.
side of the, thank you. I'm on the west side of the state over by the lake.
Okay.
I have done 1 and 2. I've signed up, I'm registered for Ashitai, and I see that Amanda has added 3 in June. And I
Yes.
guess I was just mostly curious about if it was more clinical because I work in a chiro office.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of I have my regulars and they love Ashi, but I do feel like when I go to do my soap notes sometimes they're just not clinical enough for my liking, and I'm kind of excited to be able to do that. So
Yeah, because you're really getting your client to engage with what you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah,
If you listen to Ruthie's interview, maybe last month or a couple of months ago, she is adamant that Ashiatsu is luxurious and, the deepest but also most luxurious massage on the planet. But this adds, you can still be deep and luxurious and it be the best massage on the planet while being clinical and getting into the muscle and pinning and stretching
yes,
and doing active cross tissue, active stripping.
yeah,
It's very active and engaging, which I don't know if anyone who's listening to me right now had a misconception that it was just anterior and side lying, but it is not. Your client is working with you, as you will see in a minute. It looks like Lynn has Greg over there side lying, and she's got her foot lined up so her heel is in his upper trapezius muscle, right?
Yep. And do you want to talk about like the 3 connects and what I'm doing right now, just with the compression and
So right now, what Lynn is doing is, I'm on a little tiny iPhone here. So, okay, it looks like she's doing connect, compress. Yeah, so you begin with connect, compress, and compress is just, I describe it as, hey, I'm here. It's an introduction. So you're just working the area with your foot, compressing into it. Sometimes I do a little deeper, slower anma, and then you do compress, engage. Are we there yet?
yep, I'm getting to the engagement.
You're okay. I I'm having a hard time seeing. So
Okay.
so the engagement is the connect engage is where the foot, as you can see in the upper trap, is engaging with the muscle tissue. It's stretching the fascia, it's pulling. Um, she's just stripping or actually cross fibering through his upper trapezius muscle from the front to the back. And you can see she's even coming up the neck and stripping the tissue down the neck around levator scapula, even into the spine of the scapula. It looks like she's staying superior to the spine of the scapula and lateral to the spine. And that looks really nice. And then the third connect is connect, compress, connect, engage, and then connect, activate. So the third connect is activate, where you pin the tissue and you ask your client to do a movement. And the movement is different depending on which muscle you're working or which joint you're in. So what are we going to have Greg do? It looks like he's gonna.
I'm having him just, sorry, apparently my phone is ringing. Let me bring everybody
So it
back.
looks like he's pronating and supinating his lower arm. It may be coming from the shoulder, right? Is he internally and externally rotating the
Yep,
shoulder
he's
as
going
well? That makes
palm
more
up.
sense based off of the
Yeah,
work
palm
that,
up and palm down.
yeah, palm up, palm down.
So,
Usually when I'm working in this area with my clients, not only am I having them palm up, palm down, but I'm also having them reach away. So they're pulling their scapula down towards their feet and really activating those muscles that we are massaging. Yeah, so we do that for a couple of breaths and then relax and go in and check out and test the tissue. Readjust your client because sometimes they fall out of alignment, which is what Lynn is doing right now. And your foot's a little bit out of the screen. Are you activating in the same spot, Lynn? That's better. Awesome.
so here we go.
Yeah.
So what I
So
wanted to share is, like, I have a neck pillow underneath his head because, if I was laying sideline, I need something for him for sure, just because of that restriction that he experiences. There's no way he's going to lay comfortably with
Mhm.
his head just on the table. Some people can do that. Most people need at
Do
least
you
a thin pillow
are,
or the face cradle cover.
yeah, I usually use the face cradle cover, and sometimes I have to give them a little added lift when they're side lying.
Yep. Um,
And I like to use the pillow. They look like they're spelled Pilo, but I have a couple of those in my office that I bolster with as well when I need to.
and so
So,
I'm big on, like, origin to insertion. So I really get my heel up against his occiput, and I'm staying posterior. So I'm not, in front of that triangle, but I'm just really focused on stripping traps all the way down and scalings. And when I get into the rib 1 and 2 insertion, I'll pause here, and I might, do a little dorsiflexion to get some pinpointiness. You feeling that? Mm-hmm. And because,
and
like,
notice how slow she's going. Like she
yeah,
probably has minimal lubrication. She's probably really pulling and shearing that fascia.
I do all of those things. And if you notice, his head isn't popping up too much right now, but earlier it was. Mm-hmm. And so, because of that rotation that we're struggling with, I'm going to have Greg rotate his head down to the table. And you feel a stretch there? Yes. And so we're just going to sit here. And if I want,
And this is another, yeah, this is another movement. So she's basically pinning
and just lengthen
the muscle in a similar area, but now she's having him do cervical rotation. Is he engaging his arm or activating his arm?
I had him rotate his head towards the table and then bring his arm on the body and just lengthen it. So we're just depressing the scapula. So trying to get some levator activation in there as well. But I'm just sitting here waiting for that tissue to change. And I mean, honestly, I had somebody do this on me. So I just taught a Deep Feet 3 class with a private student. And I like was the body for a lot of the class as well for her to practice on, as well as bringing in bodies. And just like having people do this work on me for just a very, practicing specific time of like 30 minutes was absolutely amazing. And I can easily sit here for 30 minutes working this area, and my client isn't going to get bored with it. And I'm not going to get bored with it. And I'm also not going to get tired. So you'll see I'm coming in more with my arch now. And do you guys see how his head is kind of popping up just a little bit when I just pull all the tissue with my arch of my foot? And I can come in and hold his head down. How's that feeling?
A little stretch.
Are you creating all of that hyperemia on his neck, or is that the shadow?
No, that's blood flow.
Blood flow. I mean,
Isn't
I'm
that
looking at like a
crazy?
1x1 square on my phone here, trying to figure
Yeah,
out what you're doing.
um,
I mean, I know what you're doing, but like exactly to describe it. But just notice if you're able to look, everybody look at the hyperemia that she's creating, and it literally looks like she's doing nothing. And the client is doing the work. He's the one that's engaging his arm and his shoulder, and he's turning his head. It is super effective. And I will, speak to what Lynn said. When I have to be a body on the table, I don't even really have any chronic problems, but I definitely feel better after I have to be a body in class.
yeah, it was really fun to go back through as a body. Like I
Mm-hmm.
worked on her and she would work on me, and
I like
just,
to do that sometimes.
yeah, and just re-experience the whole course. Um, and the material it's really awesome. It's so effective. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of like, I really felt like I didn't even need a massage on the back of my body where everyone's complaining, right? Everyone's like, my back hurts.
Yeah,
Because the work that we do and teach in Deep Feet 3 is so effective at releasing the back
it does.
as well,
Yeah.
that I just felt so much better. So you can see he's really working with the rotation of his neck now. I'm going to move my screen just so you can see it in a different angle. You guys see that?
Yeah, you can see by your big toe that fascia just
Yeah.
pulling. At least that's what it looks like when I'm doing it. There's like a
Yeah.
little square of fascia that's just stretching and trying to melt and release.
Yeah. And he's, struggling keeping his head down.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's really like the weight of his head is also going to help to stretch that
Mm-hmm.
and just really open up his neck. And so right now I have the computer balancing on my leg. Otherwise, I'd come in and put my other foot here. So let me just I would put my foot here just to start to add some extra weight onto the head and neck and just really try to let this release.
Lynn, when you're in class teaching a Deep Beat 3 class, for me, I feel like it's a lot of anatomy review, um, like origin insertion, direction of muscle fibers. Do you find it to be the same?
Yeah, I find that, I really talk about muscles all the time, origin insertion.
Hmm.
But I do have to
It's a
re-talk
lot more.
about
Yeah.
all of that. But
Yeah.
just,
It's
all of this now that I'm feeling it again with my hand, and I see Greg every week.
right.
This is already just way more effective than what I've accomplished on him in just normal sessions. So
Hmm.
now Greg's gonna be like, okay, let's go, let's jump back and forth. uh, and if I want to get more into like levator, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna find that occiput and I'm gonna strip down and I'm really gonna feel for that superior angle. And I'm gonna have Greg just push his shoulder into me just a little bit. Nope, your shoulder, no neck movement. Just move the shoulder close to me. Like shrug your shoulder.
That's why you need anatomy review.
Yep. And now bring your arm down, bring the elbow down, and then just relax. And then I'll let my foot slide off more posteriorly. But Greg did a really great thing because you also have to teach your clients um, how to move sometimes, because sometimes we get stuck in like a pattern of movement and we no longer remember how to actually engage, like hamstrings for instance
Hmm.
is a great one. And like right now you can see, Greg's like, I don't know what you mean by shrugging my shoulder. He totally knows what that means, right? But like getting to do it again in the setting is a little difficult. So go ahead and just push your shoulder into me. Good. Drop your elbow. And then relax and lengthen the arm. And then I'm just going to let my foot slide off back. And so, what else is fun is, Greg starting to move his arm kind of behind him and in front of him. And we just start to play with different ranges of motion and just finding out like what is feeling good and what isn't. So I'm going to do his other side real quick. So I'm going to, China, do you want to chat about anything or if anyone has any questions?
Yeah. If anyone has any questions, I think we lost a couple of people.
I got some people back in though.
Oh, you did? Okay. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, so when you come to a Deep Beat 3 class, we teach you a specific stroke in a specific area with a specific movement, but then just what Greg was doing right there, I encourage you to explore other movements. While you're pinning the levator, you can shrug the shoulder, but you can also reach the arm around. You don't just have to do the specific stroke, but the course would probably be 3 days long, and the manual would be 3 inches long if we went through every single movement that you could do. So this is a great angle. Oh, she moved it a little bit, but this was a great angle to kind of see a little bit of the front of his body where she's pinning into, you can see her hooking into the occiput and then gliding down the trapezius, compressing and compressing all the way out to that lateral
So this
border
is
of the
how
trap.
much lotion I'm using. And that's
Yeah.
probably actually too much. I'll go with that much.
And what kind is that? Is it ashi butter?
It is not ashi butter. It's FX cream.
Okay.
I live in,
That has a lot of grit. So
yeah, and I just, Ruthie turned me on to FX cream and I'm like a creature of habit, so just can't quite get away from that. Um, and I'm just gonna angle this a little bit for you just so you can see right here. So you can see like I'm using my heel to palpate right along his occiput and I'm just finding the spot. I really like to do a lot of like pushing and pulling. It's like I'll
mhm,
pull the skull towards me and push the shoulder down. It's like a little traction. Like my foot size fits most people right here. I'm a size 9 shoe. So, like, this works where I can get this traction happening, which helps to make sure that, the OA joint understands it's separate from the skull, right? Like
mhm.
it's separate from our spine. The skull moves independently. So I'm going to set this back down, but then I just will glide posteriorly. And it's all the same moves. And I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here. I mean, this is my body mechanics. I'm up against the wall. I'm relaxed. And here's more scalenes insertions. So here's where I'll start to ask Greg to lengthen his arm towards his feet, and then he can go palm up and palm down.
Does anybody have any questions? Oh, Flora is back.
Yeah, we
Flora,
got
I thought
another
we lost you.
decided to put up their camera. Hi.
Yeah,
I love
Julian.
when people show their faces.
Yeah. Oh, welcome, Leo. Welcome,
Yeah, I
Leo
was gonna
Space.
say Leo's here too, and I know he's experienced this work from me. I've done
Mhm.
this on him.
Yeah, it works great. I enjoy it. I was curious about the scalings. Is there any way you can access the scalings from this angle?
That's what I'm doing. I mean, honestly, we're stripping scalenes, we're stripping trap and levator. I mean, they're all there. Splenius cervicis
Mhm.
capitis is there. Like everything's being affected.
Okay.
It's more of, what is the range of motion that we're looking for, the action, right? So like right now he is really focused more on traps and like lengthening the shoulder and levator and depressing it.
Mhm.
Once we start adding in that rotation, which we'll come back to in a minute, then we're going to start to affect scalenes more.
Oh,
Uh,
You know,
Flora said she's driving to work, so she's going to
yes.
stay muted. That's
Yeah,
okay, Flora. If you have any questions, ask.
but it's also like our muscles are layered, right? So no matter what, we're still, even when I'm starting to work with that rotation and I'm really trying to engage scalenes, traps is inserting there as well. Levator is inserting into the cervical neck as well, and then inserts onto the superior angle of the scapula. So everything is being affected. So if we want to isolate muscles, then we're really working with those actions. You can relax. So this time, I'm just going to come in with like the ball of my foot just right here into the neck. And now Greg can start to rotate his head down to the table. And when I get into the upper traps, I'm going to bring in my heel. And then I just like to use my other foot to just sit and just add some additional pressure to the head to traction. How's that feeling? Okay.
Good.
And I'm just waiting for the tissue to change underneath this foot. I'm not doing anything. Like my foot is gliding, but it's gliding because he's releasing the tissue and breathing. And so as he's relaxing into all of this and allowing his body to adjust, my foot's moving.
Danny's also driving, so she said she just wanted to listen.
I'm
But if
going to
anybody
just
else,
use more of my arch this time. And you can go ahead and just rotate the chin to the table. Like this movement is hard for him. I can feel it, it's restricting. How is that feeling for you? Yeah.
It's opening, but
And so then I'll just bring my foot up and just help to hold this. And like we've been working on this area for about 20 minutes. This is just one move.
yeah,
And I had another girl come in after I did my class, right? So I was saying I had a private Deep Feet 3 class. And then I did a trade with someone who does ashi, and I was like, can you do all of this on the other side of the body? and she did for me, and we spent an entire hour and a half of her like relearning Deep Feet 3. And I mean, just spent so much time stripping out my neck, which was really helpful for me because I was struggling with my arms falling asleep at night. And so all of that is coming from, the cervical spine and the nerves getting pinched. And so once we did all that, I haven't had my arms falling asleep anymore, which is really helpful for me.
and I have a client who's an orthopedic surgeon and he specializes in knees and hips. And he describes it as basically barbaric construction on the body. And it's his forearms that come in all hypertonic and in a lot of pain. So we together of his session will spend 30 minutes on each forearm, just ripping into it like she is, stretching the fascia, pinning the muscle while he does the work.
Yeah.
And I do get up into his neck. He always insists there's nothing going on up there, but I find stuff up there. So he allows me because I'm like, I can't work on your forearms if you're not going to let me, warm everything else up. But I am always still, after almost 24 years of practice, still surprised at how easy it is to get relief. With and some of this work.
Yeah, I taught that class in early October. And so it's now been a month and I still haven't been experiencing my arms falling asleep at night.
Right.
Which has been awesome. But I have like my history is a lot of auto accidents, so a lot of rear ends. And that's what really causes my neck pain. And
Mm.
so, and right now I've just been letting Greg just like play with range of motion on his own. And he is, you know,
You
finding
go on
ways
a
to
little field
stretch
trip, guys.
and
Lynn, so you have a face cradle under his head currently? Is that correct?
yeah. Yep, I
Okay.
have like the cushion from the face cradle.
Reversed, right?
Yeah, mine's harder. So it's the one from Comfy Co. It's filled with 5 pounds of flaxseed.
Oh, I know what you're
And
talking about. Sure.
uh,
So it doesn't have as much give, right?
yeah, it's more firm. But he really needs that support.
Yeah, I was wondering, I was going to ask you in sideline when I use my hands and elbows, sometimes I'll have the client remove the pillow and let their gravity of their head sort of pull on the scalenes and the muscles. Is that something that's safe to do here?
Yeah, totally. If
Oh,
the client can tolerate it.
okay.
So this is the first time I've done this with him, and I
Okay.
picked him specifically because of this next stuff that I wanted him to experience and feel here
Okay.
today.
With in his case, his limited range of motion of the neck, that would you would not remove the pillow?
Yeah.
Is it a little dangerous? Okay.
Yeah, just because it's our first time working in this way together,
Right.
I don't wanna do too much at once for releasing all that fascia because he's had a lot of trauma to his neck.
Okay.
And when he leaves here today and for the rest of the day, he's gonna be like, oh my gosh, my neck can really move. And
So
so
you would see him like again in 2 weeks or on a weekly basis, ideally? I mean,
yeah, I see him every Thursday morning, so I will see him tomorrow.
oh, okay.
See what
And then
he
you
wants.
continue this. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what he wants to do tomorrow when he arrives. But
And then I had another question regarding the knees. Do you have a bolster there right now, or you just keep it? Yeah.
pillow.
Oh, you have a pillow,
Yeah.
like a bed pillow. Okay.
Yep. So when we go sideline, I just take the pillow that was used, the king size pillow that was used underneath the
Okay.
feet, and I put that along the body. It also works really well for women because if I have it closer up to him,
Uh-huh.
then it can also work as like a breast cover for women to work in this way.
Oh,
And we
right.
go
Gotcha.
through in the class of like how to drape and all that. Go ahead and just lengthen your arm here.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anybody else have any questions and thoughts? Does anyone feel like they want to get this work right now?
Yes, I do.
I know. I can feel my neck tightening up, and I'm like, oh, I need my massage again. And so I'm just really pinning his shoulder, his head down, just to also work, you know, kind of like what Leo was talking about, wanting to really get the gravity to help release all this fascia. And I'm just using the ball of my foot right now, just pulling all that tissue back. And then I'll just finish up with this last move, and then we'll let Greg get up. We'll ask him to repeat his range of motion and see how it looks. This is my favorite move. I do this in almost every massage. Anybody that comes in and complains about neck and shoulders, I'm putting them sideline. So I'm gonna turn off my video and volume and or microphone, and China, you can chat it up for a bit.
All right. Thank you. Lynn will be back, but does anybody have any questions about anything that Lynn was doing? Again, Leo, that was some great questions that you asked. What's that, Christy?
I am just so excited. I cannot wait to take it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna help
And
a lot of my patients.
yeah, and that's what it does. It's that clinical. Like when he stands up, hopefully she has him turn his head again, and hopefully he doesn't go and engage his shoulder when he does. I like to work the quad a lot. Occasionally, I'll put the client inside lying and work neck when they have issues on one side. I don't always have enough time to go through both sides, so we'll choose a side. But I do integrate this into my normal practice with quad work. There's a lot of people who have a lot of low back issues that I found in their quads, and we'll do this same slow, sustained compression with them moving. And then there is the whole rest of the side of the body. If you would do adductor work, the adductors are going to be in a neutral position while you're working them, and you're having your client do, a multitude of strokes. But it looks like Greg and Lynn are back, so we can do a follow-up a reassessment here.
Okay, so can we just go ahead and, oh, there we go. Go ahead and rotate from side to side. So we're still getting a little shoulder movement, but it looks like you're flowing a little bit better.
Yeah.
He's able to do more like this, where before it looked like he was doing just a little bit this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely
And
loosened.
now go just up and down. And with the up and down, I don't really see, like before you could see his t-shirt like pulling right underneath his pecs.
Yeah.
And
This one
now
looks
you
a lot
don't
better.
really see that happening. So I asked Greg right away, like, what did he think of the work? So what was your response?
Well, I'm familiar with fascia release.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, you could feel it so beautifully when I was like able to move a little bit and stretch it. I could, really different parts opening, like it felt like. And when you got out to the edges out here, especially on this side, it was really intense. I don't know what was going on out there, but it was almost like blackout. I definitely feel more connected and more smooth. But
Yeah, I mean, you're still getting like that little elevation happening, but thank you.
Right here. Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll
Thank you.
decide how you want to hang out.
Yeah.
Either on this table or that table.
Yeah. Exactly.
But enjoy your day, and I really appreciate you making the effort.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you all.
So, what China was saying about like leg work, what I've experienced with like runners, soccer players, people like, that are working out, cycling, walking, all that. When I get to the anterior leg work, they just complain. They're like, this is so painful. It hurts. And I'm always having to lighten up, which makes my job a little bit harder. Thanks again. Grab some water on your way out. Okay. Enjoy your day.
Yeah,
thank you. What I started doing was putting those clients sideline, and I started doing all the engagement and stripping work of their quads sideline. And then when I put them face up, they're way less likely to complain about the work and how it feels. So I just really have found, that Deep Feet 3 has just completely changed my perspective of working and how to work with clients, and just making it be a super effective service for them. So we'll see what he says tomorrow. I'll send you guys an email. Anybody have any other questions?
Christy, you said you're signed up, right?
I I have signed up for Ashi Tai. Amanda just listed, she was checking to see if she could do Deep Feet 3 before spring, and I see she did a June, and I have to,
Mm.
well, I get paid Friday, so we'll be signing up for that.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just put two classes on the schedule because I have a group of girls in Myrtle Beach that want to take it. So they couldn't all work the same date. So I was like, 2 dates, let's do it.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
I'm excited to be teaching more of this and getting more of this out there because of the clinical aspect of it. So
Yeah, I do find at least with where I work, they're very open-minded, which is lovely, and everybody loves it. But there are some people that are very sports massage inclined, and then they
mhm,
come to my room and they're like, I don't know about this. You know what I mean? They just have that
mhm,
preconceived notion about what it is, and then they feel wonderful
yeah,
afterwards. But I just feel like this gives a little bit more validity to,
mhm,
I do know what I'm talking about, kind of
mhm,
stuff. I don't know if that makes sense, but um, I just feel like this is gonna be such an asset to what we do.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally, it's a game changer.
Is this
Um,
a 2-day class? When it's
it's
offered, is it
actually
2
day
days?
and a half.
Day
Yeah,
and a half.
so technically we can get through all the material on day one, and then the half day of day two is really just an extra practice session for
Yeah.
everybody. Everybody really wanted that like extra, let us flow through it again with you,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
ask questions. And there's a lot of information. Like you just saw, we spent about 30 minutes, almost 35, 40 minutes with him just doing that one move.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you have a lot of students in class who are experiencing certain things, like maybe there's somebody in the course that has scoliosis, they're going to really want, especially if it's scoliosis in the lumbar spine, they're going to want that QL work that we
Yeah.
teach. And you're going to see a huge change in the way that their spine looks, um, receiving that work. So a lot of times in class, I don't know how China teaches her class, but a lot of times in the coursework, it's really about, this is what we're accomplishing. Like we're compressing, we're engaging, and then we're activating those muscles and finding those restrictions. And you're really feeling for the tissue and looking for the tissue that isn't moving. And then you want to engage that tissue that's not moving,
Yeah.
and then get your client to engage. So
Mhm.
you're getting those fascial planes to start moving together again. Um,
Yeah, DP3 is, I I will say, the hardest class for me to teach because it's not a fun routine. And I always teach the material, but then, I allow people to kind of free flow through. But Deep Feet 3 is kind of like Deep Feet 2. If anyone has ever taken Deep Feet 2, it's
Have
not
not.
necessarily a routine, it's just more tools to add to what
Mhm.
you're already doing in their appropriate places. Um, and I don't, I guess Deep Feet 2 is easy to teach, but yeah, 3 can be a little bit more challenging because it's like, okay, we're working the neck. All right, let's go down to, the QL. Okay, now let's go down to adductors, or sometimes I start at adductors and we work our way up. But
yeah,
it's just a bunch of places on the body that you're applying this technique and this concept, and then you're moving on.
Yeah.
exactly.
Would I have to take Deep Feet 2 prior to 3?
No,
No.
that's a great
Okay.
question that I did have on my list of things I wanted to talk to mention. I'm really glad you asked that because I get that question a lot. I teach Deep Feet 2 and Deep Feet 3 together. So I'll just teach for 3.5 days, but they can be taken separate. The
Okay.
2 classes I did that with, I had a group for Deep Feet 2 and then a separate group for Deep Feet 3.
Yeah, I
So, but
love
they're
doing-
consecutive,
What's that?
they're consecutive days though.
Yeah, I teach them that
Yeah.
way, but they can or cannot be taught that. I mean, taken that
Okay.
way.
Okay.
And when you
very
teach
good.
deep feed to China, do you bring in a lot of bodies so the students?
Generally, yes. I don't typically make them work on each other. Maybe day 1 for the first segment, but then I just have a lot of dudes that I rotate in.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I just bring in bodies
It's
because
just easier
so
than
much
wearing them
easier.
out and making them have to hold their body off of
Yeah.
their partner
Yep.
because it's not, that's the hard part.
And that's what's nice about this style too, is, it really can be done on anyone. So even
Yeah.
someone who's smaller than you can still utilize these tools and these techniques without, having any sort of concern about having too much pressure, because
Hmm.
you're just, whenever we're moving, we're meeting each other's resistance.
Yeah.
So I'm never in a place where people are moving where it's a really big struggle for them. If you guys all send us an email, we will give you guys, if you haven't signed up already, we'll give you guys a discount code for Deep Feet 3 to sign up for either a future course with at any of our locations, either online or in person. And so definitely do that. I'll have Nancy set that up today, or Lana set it up today, the discount code, and we'll get that emailed to you guys.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this is our final Soulful Connection hour of 2024. And we do have 2025 in plan. So January is already planned, and that's going to be all social media marketing with a social media expert that I know.
Nice.
And we're going to start the new year out on the right terms for getting our marketing and business plans together for the year of 2025. If you guys do your social media marketing, like, this is a great class to jump into just to get more details. Always send us emails, texts. We love to hear from our students. Facebook. I'm never sad when a student texts me. So send us questions, anything you guys need. China, have fun in Morocco. It looks like your place is amazing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, give us a little
that's
tour real quick before we say bye.
yeah, this is my first time here. Where did I come in? Okay, so I guess I came in at the front door.
Yeah.
And here's a bathroom.
Nice.
Oh, laundry room, you don't have to see that. Cute little kitchen.
Yeah,
and
super
then,
modern. Love
yeah,
it.
the I don't know, this might be the teaching space or so. I don't know what to do with the couch, but it's kind of a skinny living room. I'm gonna have to take some measurements. I think there's 3 bedrooms. Oh yeah, so here's a bedroom for 2 people.
Nice.
Oh, it looks like it's got a patio. Is that a patio?
And it's now
No,
dark.
that's not. Yeah, now it's dark. Okay. Very nice. Another bedroom. Oh yeah, it's just a window. What's going on in here? I guess this is another bath. Oh, okay. Yeah, they have this weird thing where the shower is just like in the bathroom. It's not
Yeah.
a separate space.
Yep.
You just take a shower. Like, you can go pee if you want while you're taking a
Yeah,
shower because the
that's what-
toilet's right there.
That's what the military would call shit, shower, and shave.
Yeah. Ooh. So got a towel warmer.
I love
Here's
it.
another. This one's separate. And then I think, ooh, this is a nice bedroom. Yeah, it's nice. So 2 or 3 people can fit in here. And
Yeah,
then
it's awesome. I'm so
really
excited for you
cool
guys.
closet spaces. Yeah, so hopefully by the end of the year, I'll be able to have some deep feet classes here.
That's awesome. Well,
Yes,
thank you
thank
guys
you.
all for joining us. China, enjoy your trip. We'll see you when you get back.
Yep.
Christy, I love your shirt. I used to have a t-shirt or a sticker that said, "Let us turn up the beats."
Did it. I got it for $3. I was so excited.
I love
That's
it.
cool.
Yeah, we're big thrifters up here in Michigan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
So
All
I
right.
will
Well, thank
see you guys
you.
all soon. Have a great week and see you in 2025.
Yeah, is
Bye, everybody.
there a way to find the old Soulful connections? I've missed the last 3 because I was working. Is
Yeah,
there a way to
send me an
find them?
email.
Okay, I will.
Send me an
Thank
email.
you.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.